Hi there, I'm Christina from Hair Romance, and this is day 24 of my Good Hair Q&A series. Today's question came in via email, and it was asking about how do you get your hair to go into clumps when you're trying to get it to curl. And this might be a strange question. I think there's a lot of terminology when you're in the curly hair community. But when we're talking about clumps, it's kind of where instead of having all these little bits of curls like I have on this side, you're trying to get like sort of thicker curls forming. And I tried to demonstrate this, but I always find it really difficult to come on camera here because I do so much of this straight in the shower. So coming up soon, I'm going to do a full curly hair tutorial, but I just wanted to share a few tips to help you when you're washing your hair tomorrow or whenever you're next doing it, to make sure that your curls are looking as smooth as possible and you get as little frizz forming as possible. So my first tip for stopping frizz from forming starts in the shower. And you want to make sure that your hair cuticles are all smoothed down and all running together. I can tell now when I'm in the shower if my hair is going to be frizzy or not. And I can tell because each little hair is sort of catching on each other, and even though a curl might be forming, there'll be these like little pieces off against it. I can just see it. And what I want to see in the shower is a smooth hair where all of the hairs are sort of going down together and they aren't catching on each other. So this can be done in a couple of ways. First is by hydrating your hair with water. You want to make sure that you're soaking your hair and that it's running from root to tip. And so as you're under the shower, you're just getting as much water running down your hair as possible. And then I also make sure I'm using a leave-in conditioning treatment. One I find that works particularly well if your hair catches a lot is the Kinky Curly Not Today. Some people find this is quite heavy as a leave-in, but I sometimes use it while I'm still in the shower and slightly rinse a little bit out. I think it's more of a glycerin base, I have to check. But the thing I love about this is it has this really lovely slip, and it just makes your hair all come together and into those sort of perfect curl clumps that you're really trying to aim for. But as long as I'm saying what a lot of people are trying to aim for, there's not one perfect way to wear your curls, and every curl is different. But if you're trying to stop the frizz, using a product with a lot of slip so that you can see all of your hairs coming into the same curl is what you want to achieve. To further encourage all your hair to come together, I like to use a wide tooth comb, and this can sometimes be where people use a Denman brush in their curl routine as well. By running the curl through your hair and almost like curving it at the end, particularly with the Denman brush as well, you want to do that like nice little curve because you don't want to come straight down. It's going to sort of separate your curls too much, but by sort of brushing them through and twisting the ends just to kind of curl a little bit under helps encourage that curl along really, really well. If you don't like to use a brush or comb and you just want to use your fingers, you can still do this just by finger combing through your hair. And then it was described to me once by another hairdresser in my old curly hair routine, get almost like a seaweed type texture. I know that sounds a little bit gross, but it's exactly that perfect kind of slip, smooth, silky hair feel that you want to have to know that your hair is really hydrated. Once your hair is really hydrated, that's when you want to lock it in. I'll reach for a curl cream. I really love the SheaMoisture Curl Enhancing Smoothie, or whatever curl cream you like to use. And then I'll apply that in and almost twist that through any sections that aren't curling very well. Particularly around the front for me, I like to encourage a bit more curl there. And if you have a curly fringe or bangs, you definitely want to twist them as well. And then I'll grab my gel as my final step to set my curls. In between there, I'll squeeze a little bit of water out of my hair because I want to scrunch the curls up and actually just kind of squeeze a little bit of water out, and then I use gel. And I've got a little video about using gel which I'll link to as well. Now, styling curls doesn't have to be a lot of products. I know I often talk about it, but it's because when people are trying to achieve a certain result, it does take products. Your hair might naturally do that, but for most of us, it takes a little bit of playing around in between. But you don't need to do this. I don't think all frizz is bad, and personally I like a little bit of frizz because it's volume. I don't like it when my curls sit too flat. I can see my hair is still wet right now and that's what they're looking like, but I'm going to diffuse a little bit more and let it air dry. But I wanted to show you what it's looking like when it's wet. I can tell when the hair starts to lift up that I've already got frizz forming, and there's nothing I can do after that to really stop it, apart from sort of sticking it back down. It's almost better to jump back in the shower, wet your hair down again, add a little bit more conditioner and styling products, and then you'll be good to go. So next time you're washing your curly hair, really think about getting that sort of smooth, silky texture of almost like a seaweed. Sounds so terrible, I have to think of another word for it. But that sort of texture in your hair and you can see that all of your hairs are laying together. That's when you know you're going to have perfect curls coming out. And then also you want to make sure that you don't add any more frizz in with a towel. Grab a t-shirt instead of a towel to squeeze your hair rather than rub it together. Any rubbing is always just going to cause frizz. Remember, friction equals frizz, and so you want to make sure that you leave your curls as undisturbed as possible. If you're enjoying my good hair series, I'd love it if you give this video a like and make sure you subscribe to my channel so you'll see my next video. We're almost at the end of the month and I have loved making these daily videos, but next I'll be planning some more complete tutorials so that I'll show you the full steps in depth. So stay tuned for those. Thank you so much for watching and I'll see you soon. Bye.